Hello and welcome class 12 commerce students. Today in this class I am going to explain to you two more important ratios which may come in your exam paper. So please follow the class carefully. Today the two ratios which I am going to explain to you back to back are first is fixed asset turnover ratio, and the second one is operating ratio. So please focus on today's class. First of all, I will explain to you fixed asset turnover ratio. Yes, you heard it right. Fixed assets turnover ratio. Now, concentrate on the name, fixed asset turnover ratio. Now, fixed asset turnover ratio indicates the ratio or the relationship between fixed asset and turnover. The relationship between fixed assets and turnover. Turnover means sales. So, this ratio clearly indicates the relationship between fixed asset and net sales of a company. Fixed asset and net sales of a company. Now, through an illustration, a balance sheet will be provided to you. Maybe the asset side of balance sheet will be provided to you. From that balance sheet, you need to identify the fixed assets of the company in the sum. You will find out the fixed assets first. Various type of assets will be given to you. It may be fixed asset, it may be a combination of fixed asset, current assets, fictitious assets. So all the assets will be given to you in the balance sheet. From there, you will pick up the fixed assets, and with that, net sales will also be provided to you separately. You need these two items. See, in this illustration, there are many assets given to you. Many assets of the balance sheet. In fact, the asset side of the balance sheet is provided to you. Plant and machinery is given, furniture is given, loose tools given, equipment given, stock, debtors and cash is also given. From this list, I will pick up the fixed asset. Now, plant and machinery, furniture, loose tools and equipment. These are the four fixed assets included in the sum, whereas the rest of the assets are current assets. The rest of the assets, that is debtors, stock and cash, are the current assets which we don't need in this sum. We need the summation of these four assets, that is plant and machinery, furniture, loose tools and equipment. Now, for plant and machinery 5 lakh, furniture 3 lakh, loose tools 2 lakh and equipment 6 lakh. So 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 gives you 16 lakh. So 16 lakh is the total of fixed asset. 16 lakh is the total of fixed asset. And net sales is also given in the sum, provided in the sum, that is 60 lakh. That is 60 lakh. Now, fixed asset turnover ratio formula is net sales divided by fixed assets. Net sales divided by fixed assets. Now, net sales is given to you is 60 lakh. 60 lakh. And fixed asset you have calculated is 16 lakh. 16 lakh. So, 60 lakh divided by 16 lakh. This calculation you will do and find out the fixed asset turnover ratio. Turnover means sales. Turnover means sales. So, fixed asset turnover ratio, if you do the calculation, you will get 3.75 times. 3.75 times. This is the answer of this problem. This is the answer of this problem, 3.75 times, which means that sale is more than the fixed investment, the fixed asset purchase. The sale is more than the purchase, which indicates the good position of a company. Sales are more than the investment in the fixed asset. Sales are more from the investment in the fixed asset. It is 3.5 times, which indicates a good financial, a sound financial position of a concern. This is how you will do any sum of fixed asset turnover ratio. This is how the sum you will do. Now I am rubbing the board and I am moving on to the next sum, which we are going to learn today. I hope you all have copied the sum. Next is operating ratio. Operating ratio. My next topic is operating ratio. What is the formula of operating ratio? The formula of operating ratio is cost of goods sold plus operating expenses. Can you get? Cost of goods sold plus operating expenses divided by net sales. So this is the formula of operating ratio. This is also a very important profitability ratio. Cost of goods sold plus operating expense by net sales. Now, cost of goods sold, I have previously told you that cost of goods sold we can get from opening stock plus purchase plus carriage inward plus wages minus closing stock. This is the formula. Minus closing stock. Opening stock plus purchase plus carriage inward plus wages minus closing stock. These are the items which are to be included in cost of goods sold. From the trading account we can prepare cost of goods sold. I have told you earlier also, while teaching the stock turnover ratio, I told you that cost of goods sold we can get from the trading account if we add the items, if we add the direct expenses with the opening stock, that is purchase of raw material, carriage inward, wages, if we add with opening stock, and from that sum, if we deduct the closing stock, we are going to get the cost of goods sold. Now coming to the point, operating expense. How can we get this operating expense? Operating expense is nothing but the summation of selling and distribution expenses and administrative expenses. So operating expenses means selling, distribution plus administrative expenses. So first you will calculate the cost of goods sold by applying this formula. From this formula you will find out the cost of goods sold. Then by applying this formula, selling and distribution and administrative expenses, these two we will add and find out the operating expenses. Now this cost of goods sold and this operating expense we will add and divide it by net sales, the amount of net sales. Thus we can get the operating ratio. Suppose if the cost of goods sold is 2,20,000 and 2,20,000 and operating is 80,000 and net sales is 4 lakh, suppose 4 lakh, then what you are getting? The ratio as 3 lakh divided by 4 lakh. You are getting the ratio as 3 lakh divided by 4 lakh, which means 3:4. Operating ratio is coming 3:4. In this way, if any sums come and you are asked to find out the operating ratio, you will apply this formula. It's very easy. That's why I have shown like this. It's very easy. Applying the formula in this way, you will simply find out the ratio. So that's all about the ratio classes. I hope through these classes I can provide some information, clear up your concept, your idea about ratio analysis. Practice these sums more and more, and download the PDF that I have provided with these videos so that you can do the homework from the ratio analysis and submit your copies at regular intervals. And prepare yourself for the exams also. Very soon I will come up with a video where I will provide the details of the exam paper. I will provide you how the exam paper will be set, what will be the marks distribution. So please follow the classes regularly. Thank you. Goodbye.